Hey, so welcome to the continuation of the new wheels for the S2000. So as you can see here, I have my new Regamaster Evo 2s with tires mounted, and I have the stickers installed now here too. Unfortunately with these stickers, so I just kind of want to give a heads up to anybody that's going to be ordering these. These particular set of wheels, they were sourced through a local shop here in Calgary and Edmonton called First Gear Project. And for North America, the exclusive rights for Regamaster are actually with a company called ICB Motorsports. And they include these stickers. I believe the stickers are actually manufactured by them. So you can see here, there's the rim sticker, and then there's the spoke sticker. But the sticker quality on these is pretty much garbage, to be honest. So this wheel has all the stickers intact. And after I put these on the car, I drove it around a little bit. They got a little bit dusty, so I figured, okay, I'll give them a quick wash. And some of them didn't fare out too well. As you can see here, this one, part of the Evo is missing. Half of the spoke stickers are missing, etc. So, not impressed with the sticker quality. Honestly, I think I might just take these stickers off once they do get really bad. But yeah, so just to show you a bit more of the wheel and tire package, so the tires I have on here are a Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, and these are 265/35/18. So you might be thinking to yourself, stock body S2000 with a fairly aggressive, quote unquote aggressive, 18 by 9.5, 45 with a 265. How do they fit? Let me throw them on the car and I will show you for what it's worth. I did have to do a little bit of fender work on the car. So a typical issue on S2000s is the back corner here where it meets up with the rear fender and the bumper. There's a tab that meets up there. Let me just show you here. We can kind of see it. Maybe not too well, it's probably too dark. But there's a tab that the fender actually connects to the rear bumper. That needs to be shaved or kind of modified, and then the mounting position relocated. So as you can see here, it's not completely flush with the bumper because now the mounting tab's more back here. This is kind of the cost of fitting more aggressive wheels and tires on the car. But I did have to massage that a bit more. It was already done previously on the car with the previous CE28s that were on the car. Those, for reference, was a 17 by 9.5 plus 50 offset with a 255/40. But in terms of aggressiveness, this is a little bit more aggressive offset, bigger diameter, so I did have to massage the fenders a little bit. Did a very slight pull in the rear and a slight pull in the front, but not too much to disturb the body lines themselves. So if you actually look at the edge of the car, can't really tell that there's that much of a pull. So on either side, pretty much the same thing. And this one probably gives you good reference. So this is with the car jacked up on this side and it's compressed pretty good, but we still do have just a little bit of room. So pretty tight fitment. But let me throw that wheel on and just to show you how the car actually sits naturally. But before I do that, I thought it'd be kind of cool. This is obviously a relatively big wheel and tire package, but how does this compare weight-wise to my quote-unquote track setup? Okay, so this might be familiar to you if you've looked at some of the old videos, but this is my quote-unquote track setup. These are a set of NT03 RRs from Enkei. So these are a low pressure cast wheel that are then flow formed. So they're not forged wheels per se, but they are kind of relatively close to that. Some of the lettering on here, the matte Dura technology that Enkei uses is to try to get a relatively light and strong wheel from a casting. But yeah, so that is made it up to a Hankook RS4. So these are a 255/40/17, fairly common size on S2000s. And then the wheel itself is a 17 by 9, 63 offset. So that's pretty much what's known as very safe, conservative S2000 fitment, that you can run a square setup without having to do any major fender work in the front, depending on how low you are. But yeah, so I'm going to throw this on the scale and then we're going to see how much it weighs. Okay, so I just weighed these two wheel and tire setups. So as I mentioned, the left-hand side right now is my new Regamaster Evo 2s. Those are an 18 by 9.5 with a 265/35/18 tire. And on the right side is my NTO3 RR end keys that are a 17 by 9 with a 255/40 tire. So obviously, going from the right to the left, I'm going up in terms of diameter 1 inch and then 1/2 inch wider of a wheel and basically 10mm wider in tire size. So you'd think, okay, even though the Evo is forged, etc., I'm probably looking at a weight penalty. And yes, I am, but it's probably a lot less than you'd think it would be. So on the right hand side with my end key setup, that came in at around 42.5 pounds. And the Evo 2 with the wheel and tire setup, that came up at 43.4 pounds. So less than a pound total in terms of weight difference. And with the end keys, I actually run a 15mm bolt-on spacer at each corner. I don't have to in the rear, but in the front, ultimately I was limited in terms of brake clearance with my big brake kit. I could have gotten away with a 5mm spacer, but then I would need to run extended lugs, etc. And I didn't really want to do that work. So I decided to go with a 15mm bolt-on spacer setup because someone local to me had that for sale. So just throwing those weights in as well, it's probably even or if not heavier because now I have the additional weight of the spacer. So pretty cool to see that I'm not actually gaining or changing the weight of the car that much, going to a bigger wheel and tire setup, which will be nice having for street setup. So let's get to putting them on the car and seeing what it looks like at the end. So my garage floor isn't completely even, so it might not be the best reference, but if we look here in the back, it sits relatively flush, the wheel and tire setup, and then the front, if we kind of zoom into there, again, pretty flush fitment. If I go to the other side, because the floor is uneven, it looks pretty wonky. Like the rear looks fine, maybe a little bit high, but the front, there you can see we got a pretty big gap. So I'll probably shoot the outro to this video outside when the car is more on level ground. But yeah, overall, I'm really stoked at how the new wheel and tire setup looks on the car. I think it adds just some nice aggression to it. And it should be pretty cool. I think it's fairly unique having this color, silver. I think a lot of people with Regamasters, they tend to go with the white finish, or obviously kind of the black, matte black in the Spoon SWs. But yeah, so hopefully that you like them. I'm really stoked on them. So yeah, I'll close this video out kind of with a rock around when the car's back on level ground.